What's up, everybody? So today we are going to talk about just the corruption that is going on in the world. Um, I honestly saw this video Nick Jones posted, and um, first and foremost, I want to just say congratulations to Nick Jones on his millionth subscriber. That is awesome. That is an amazing milestone to hit. And before I get into this video, make sure y'all hit the like button on this video so it can go out into the algorithm um to people just like you. And so yeah, let's just go into the live scene. And let's just I just wanna let's just do this right quick. He got 1 million subscribers. I don't know. Let's see, let's go to his page because I really want y'all to see this. This is just amazing. Um I just came across I went back to his page because I wanted to, check out some of his videos. And I was like, wow, 1 million. This is amazing. That is
All right,
amazing.
y'all.
So, um, what made me want to check out this video is because, actually, um, we literally just read Genesis 6 and it was talking about the corruption and stuff in the world that um, that God was talking about. And one thing about the hip hop world is a lot of the world is influenced by the hip hop world. A lot of everything is influenced by the music industry, like overall, just the music industry. Um, a lot of people are, chasing money, chasing fame, chasing nice cars, and chasing, you know, things that make them feel fulfilled, right? And I remember being once in that position before where I was chasing all the flashy things in life, things that didn't make me happy, things that really, when you chase those things, you become very prideful. You become more focused on that than your relationship with God, and you essentially start to fall into sin like crazy. And now people are doing things, anything, to reach this destination of success in the world. And so we just want to go over this video because, man, I haven't watched it yet, so I'm very interested. So yeah, let's just hop into it.
Most of y'all have probably never heard of this name in your entire life. Anthony Stanley.
No,
But
I
I
haven't.
promise you, by the end of this video, you will not forget it. He's worked with some of the biggest names in the entire music industry. And what he saw with his own two eyes, what he experienced, what he witnessed, is going to leave you speechless. Because that's exactly what happened to me. I was blessed enough to have a conversation with him one on one. And what he told me directly, most of y'all just flat out are not going to believe it. And it really got me thinking. This music, this industry, hip hop, rap music, I grew up on it. It was literally my first love when it came to music.
Same.
It shaped and molded a lot of who I was throughout my childhood. That's how much I would listen to rap music. Some people would probably say that I was worshiping at the level that I was listening to rap music. And I think a lot of us could probably agree that we may have had similar experiences with rap music early on in our life. Or maybe there might be some of y'all who still have that relationship with rap music to where you just can't help but keep going back to it, even though you know better, even though you know it doesn't glorify God, even though you know in your heart that the spirits behind the music are not of God.
Hmm.
But in this video, you're going to see just how dark those spirits
This
actually
is
are.
why I'm
And I
cautious.
promise
Try
most
to
of y'all
be.
are not ready for it. Now, we're going to get to my conversation with Anthony Stanley. But first, I need to show you something because this is really how this entire video started. with this clip right here. Kevin Gates, very well-known, famous rapper in the industry right now. He was on Paul Pierce's podcast and he said something crazy. But honestly, it's not the words that he said, because I'm used to it at this point. I'm used to hearing all this crazy, blasphemous, antichrist type of spirit behavior. I'm used to it at this point. Like, nothing really surprises me. But the level of conviction that he said it with, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, that kind of surprised me.
Yeah, there's some crazy stuff. Kevin Gates be saying some off the wall stuff. Like, he really do. And I ain't gonna say like it's off the wall to the sense like it's off the wall. Like, yo, dang man, like you out here like really serving another God, and it ain't Big G God. It's the devil himself. And he just say some stuff like, yeah, bro he have a possession. He's dealing with uh, a demonic spirit. So just want to put my 2 cents in.
Take a listen.
Sometimes, sometimes we're not protective of our energy in the way that we should be, because sometimes I say, I'm held responsible for the places that I place myself. But that's physically.
Right.
But I've been working with this other guy. You know what the fascia is?
Mm-hmm.
So we've been working on like releasing like certain traumas in your fascia.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been working on that. And he told me something that was so beautiful. He said the physical, the mental, the spiritual is all one system. If one thing's off, everything's off. And I said, wow. And it intrigued me to the point I was like, I'm not overprotective of myself where I place myself energetically and spiritually and psychologically. I need to start being more cognitive in these areas. Physically, I know certain areas and certain places I'm not going to place myself, but it's certain places I shouldn't even place myself energetically.
I never thought
Or
about
spiritually, or psychologically. And I was like, you know what? It's not because I feel like I'm better. It's because I know I am.
Are you an angel?
What you just said?
Are you an angel?
I'm the angel of fear.
The
What's
angel,
that?
The angel of fear.
you're the angel of fear. That's what
Yeah.
it
Those who
Understand
know.
what I'm saying?
I understand exactly what you're saying. Yes, sir.
You understand?
Yes, sir. He who opposes us in his heart,
Do you let people know?
fear shall overtake him.
Do you let people know that? Do you tell people that?
Those who have eyes, let them see. And those who have ears, let them hear. It ain't for me to put it there. They know the voice of their shepherd when I'm on location.
They know the voice of their shepherd.
Yeah, the voice of their shepherd. Like, let's see what Nick Jones say before I put my 2 cents in.
When I'm on location. What kind of spirit is that? Paul Pierce says,
Yeah, what kind of spirit is it? He said the angel of fear. See, that fear is not like God. God literally speaks about not having fear, and you know he speaks on that, and this is fear is the opposite of being courageous and having joy. It's the opposite. So that lets you know. He said their shepherd would like. Hold on, let's go back right quick.
Location.
they know the voice of their shepherd when I'm on location.
So what the way I took it is when you hear Jesus, like they know Jesus is known as shepherd. When he on location, when he having fear, when they have someone having fear, like you know, y'all You know Jesus. When I'm on location, when I'm around you, like call out to Jesus when you have fear. That's the way I took it. That's the way I took it.
What kind of spirit is
But do know God did not give us the spirit of timidity. You know, and that's um. Let's look that up. Let's look that up real quick. No, what? Nah. Let's just keep watching the video. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
that? Paul Pierce says, and I don't know why he even was prompted to even say this, but he says, "Are you an angel?" Kevin Gates says, "I'm the angel of fear." And then follows up by saying that they know the voice of their shepherd when they hear it. This sent me down a rabbit hole of research to try to find out how dark is hip hop really? Because we see things, we hear things, we see the clips, we see the TikToks, we see the IG reels, we see the YouTube videos, we see all this stuff. But how dark is hip hop really? And then I stumbled across this clip by G. Craig Lewis, who was just on the We Need to Talk podcast. Excellent podcast, by the way. G. Craig Lewis, for those of you who do not know, he has probably the most well-known ministry exposing hip-hop. So much so that he would travel around the world, and he's going to tell the story, but he would travel around the world before social media, delivering the message, exposing hip-hop, and people would not believe him. I don't know if they didn't want to believe him because they were in so much bondage to the music themselves, or they just simply could not wrap their mind around the truth that there is a spiritual element operating behind the scenes of hip hop music. Now, I'm going to play this brief clip. This is G. Craig Lewis talking about the early days in his ministry. And I want you to pay close attention to what he says, because he says one phrase that I probably will never forget in my entire life. All right? Take a listen.
Because nobody could see it. It just did not exist. So they thought I was crazy. But God trusted me with that information to the point. There was no social media back then.
Nope.
But he took me all over the world. All over the world.
So we were in our bubble, so we don't know how big X Ministries got and the message got. You were traveling.
All over the world. It was the biggest black message at the time. Like, I couldn't go into a town without seeing a magazine or something on the shelf with my picture on it. Like, it was like that. Oprah Winfrey and Russell Simmons and Steve Harvey and Tavis Smiley, all those guys called me for interviews. Like, it was that big. I turned them all down because God didn't want me. The message was for the church.
Right.
You know, I'm not going on Oprah show and
Oprah.
talking about truth behind hip hop.
Right.
Talking about the truth behind Oprah. You know, so it was never about, it was never about me going out and just trying to get famous. You know, it was always about the church being warned, because when the Spirit comes in, it's going to affect the church. It's going to it's going to be birthed into kids in the church, the youth. And then those youth are going to grow up and become pastors. And they're going to be expressing the hip hop culture from the pulpit.
Oh my gosh.
And then you have, total debauchery. And so that was God's warning. He was warning the church what was coming.
You're saying a few things, and I don't want to jump all around, but you talk about hip hop culture, and there was in the messages you were talk about. It's not just the music, but everything from the dress, the things, the language, and all of that. When you go back, when you look at the origins of hip hop, some would say, but there was a time though that hip hop culture wasn't what it is now. Like, was hip hop corrupted, or was hip hop always on its way towards corruption? Like, was it good at the foundations? Meaning, if we were to go back to where hip hop was at its inception, would it then be something that could be acceptable?
Not at all. Hip hop was corrupt in its creation because the creators and founders of it were corrupt. So Afrika Bambaataa went to Africa and he learned the ways of the Zulus. The Zulus are into ancestral worship. He brought those spirits back and began to make raps and beats about how those spirits, how powerful they were. That's what Planet Rock is about. You know, Planet Rock, don't stop, rock to Planet Rock. That's basically false god worship rock, because the planets into the Zulus were considered gods. And so from the beginning, it's been corrupt. You just, when I was trying to explain it, people was like, oh no,
That just made my brain pop. What? I used to love Planet Rock. Wow. Wow.
it's just beats. No, it's not beats. If you know anything about frequency, you know that it's never just beats. It's never just music. Music carries the heart of the author that created it. And the best example of that is in the Bible. King David, when Saul was troubled by the evil spirit, David just played. He didn't have to sing. He played, but because of his heart and his disposition, the spirit came and soothed the evil spirit and chased it away. That's because of who David was, a man after.
Music carries.
That is very interesting. Because I was going to say, like, okay, so what about, like, Christian rap? But I will say, like, when you look at, like, some artists, for instance, oh, man, they get so loud in there. When you, like, when you listen to, like, Forrest Frank stuff, it's very different compared to a lot of Christian rap. I just want to point that out.
Carries the heart of the author who created it. He said, it's never just beats. It's never just beats. It's never just beats. Music carries the heart of the author who created it. I think we all have to consider that. Whenever we put anything on, regardless of what it is, we all have to consider that statement. Tasha K just had a conversation with a literal witch. Here's the crazy part. We have G. Craig Lewis has an entire ministry exposing the spiritual element, the demonic spiritual element behind hip hop. And then you have a literal witch, right? Who goes by the name of Satin, who is obviously very different from a spiritual standpoint than G. Craig Lewis. Extremely different, but on the opposing side. Although she says that she's a good witch. I was using air quotations for those of you who are just listening. I know there ain't no such thing as no good witch. You know what I'm saying?
There's no good
but
witch.
You know what's so crazy? When you listen to this clip, they agree on this topic. And that's even more revealing. That you have somebody who is a Christian, a man after God's own heart, exposing the wicked and evilness behind the spirits that are operating and running hip hop. And then you have a literal witch who can agree on this topic. If that doesn't open your eyes, I'm not sure what will. Take a listen.
Everything you watch is subliminal when you think about it. Your music is subliminal, you know, the 808s, all the beats, everything. They are 100% controlling us. Yes. So if you know that you're being controlled, now you can't be controlled anymore. But if you don't know, they can continue to control you. And that's what's happening to everyone. That's why you get a certain feeling when you listen to certain music. It's frequencies.
No, I do know that. I have a talent show that we just started called Shoot Your Shot. And there was a guy that was singing on what I only heard it like once before. And it was when Halle Bailey was singing a song that she released, but it was like a frequency that almost made me cry.
Oh, an angelic frequency.
Yeah, like they call it like God's frequency or something like that.
Yes.
And I'm like, damn, like this is very empowering. Like, and it was just his voice. It was incredible. A black kid.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see that. And then when I listen to, rap music, I used,
It make you angry.
It does. And sometimes I like that feeling. I ain't gonna lie. I be in the car with my future on.
Yes.
I'm a young thug and stuff, and I'm like, these guys done
They know what they're doing. Yeah,
You
the
know,
executives. Yeah,
so,
when you're like,
yeah.
why would they put this out? Everything behind that is strategic. They're not just putting it out to put it out, babe.
So what about
Everything behind it is strategic. Talking about rap music, right? What did G. Craig Lewis said? He said, it's never just beats. It's never just beats, right? She said they know what they're doing when they put this out. It's strategic. They know exactly what they're doing. 3 6 Mafia. Iconic rap group from Memphis. Iconic. And really, 3 6 Mafia has shaped a lot of the sound that we hear today, and a lot of the most poppin' artists, like a Playboy Cardi, for example. I can hear a lot of inspiration in what Playboy Cardi is trying to produce, stemming from the stage that 3 6 Mafia really built in the rap industry. But when you think about it from the standpoint of what she just said, everything's strategic. It's meant to make you feel angry. It's strategic. If you've never seen this clip before, let me just prepare you. You're never going to listen to rap music the same. You actually probably will never listen to any music the same after you hear this clip. I'm just going to warn you. Now, Koopsta was an original member of Triple.
I just want to point this out too. So I used to deal with for like the I used to deal with like I like drinking a lot. Like I was an addict. Like I would drink. And I remember like a lot of time like that drinking would be triggered through like music. I'd be in the car listening to music and it'll just trigger it bad. Um and I would want to do worse and worse and worse the more of that music I listened to. And I remember when I finally surrendered to God, I was listening to praise and worship music. Literally fell down on my knees and I like surrendered. So, but yeah, this stuff is real. I 100% believe that's real.
6 Mafia, an original member. This is from his documentary that he put out on his YouTube channel. And he's talking about the early days of his life where he was growing up and he went through a lot of hard stuff, went through a lot of struggle, went through a lot of pain, was a foster kid, lost family members, just struggle, hard times. And I want you to listen to what he says about God, because when he's going through this hard time, he's just a teenager. He's like 12, 13 years old, living on his own on the street, struggling. And people are coming up to him, telling him about Jesus, telling him about God. And I want you to listen to exactly what he says.
Okay. Then people come telling me about, Jesus and God got this plan for my man. F God, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you're 13, you don't know where because you came back to Memphis and this happened. I don't know nothing about this city. You know what I'm saying? I know I got family, but they didn't keep me. Everybody else, I think I was the first person on foster care. So I just left and ran. So I'm 13, can't get a job. It's cold outside, raining and shit. So I vowed then. I said, man, dude, because I didn't get it. Everybody told me, I said, Jesus, man, what is it? Who is that? Well, Jesus put you through. Is you serious? Jesus put you through trial. 13. He got a God, got a what God? I never saw this motherfucker. You mean the I pray to and get our last money to in church and we come home with a motherfucker? This is why white dude with the hair and shit. Oh, you talking about David, Daniel, Mark, Luke, all them European things? You get what I'm saying? I don't, man, them niggas, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm dead serious. I don't hear that fake ass shit. fake ass preacher get in church, but God gonna do this and he got the son, he laid the path. Man, is you motherfucker crazy? You know what I'm saying? What about now? Okay, give me some money, give me an apartment. Well, son, just have patience, God, man, lick my and it just angered me, and it angered me, and it angered me. And every time I see these TV shows, this nigga coming out the sky, and these black folks jumping up and down talking about, hallelujah, hey, you got the Holy Spirit. Well, you got the spirit of when you happy. You don't jump up and down anyway. You know what I'm saying? And then we paying tithes to who? God don't need no money. I'm just saying, if you got what? God is a title to me. So I don't believe in none of this. I believe it's one big being or maybe many, or maybe a she. You get what I'm saying? But I don't follow no program from people who are killers. You know what I'm saying? I don't follow none of that. This pissed me off. I said, fuck God. I got him. I met Paul Beauregard in a shop class.
So this is a very interesting part of the story. So he's explaining where he met DJ Paul in school in a shop class, right? And I want to remind you of something.
And that man was just black.
This
Just
sets up what was
straight up using God name in vain and everything. Whew. I hope you repent.
we're going to talk about. I made a video talking about DJ Paul. He was on a podcast, Dumb Blonde podcast, and she just flat out asked the question like, hey, a lot of people say that you guys are satanic. Your name is 3-6 Mafia. So like, are you guys satanic? Are you devil worshipers? Like, what's really the deal? And I want you to listen to exactly what DJ Paul says.
Oh yeah, because like 3-6 Mafia, like there's a meaning behind their name too. Forgot what it was.
Very closely. Very closely. Because Koopsta is going to expose everything that DJ Paul says, and it's extremely eye-opening. All right? Take a listen.
I know Lord Infamous has gone on record to say that he dabbled in like
You see that psychic reading? You know, some crazy stuff.
Satanism and all that stuff.
Yeah, he didn't do that for real.
He didn't?
Hell no.
I just watched an interview with him last night where he was talking about how he went to hell and demons were torturing him, and like it was crazy. And I was
Yeah,
just
he
like,
was just high.
okay.
I grew up singing Amazing Grace in the church, and I was playing the organ. Everybody know that. He was in the
love
church
that.
every Sunday in Mississippi. It don't get no more churchier than a Mississippi church.
Yeah, for sure. I love that you call him out like that, though. You're like, no, that's my brother. Nope, he grew up singing Amazing Grace. So
Yeah.
there was no real satanic reasoning behind the name.
No.
The lore has always just kind of like your reputation precedes you.
Yeah, it was just an image. It was just something that was cool.
Right.
Like I said, we did, study like killers and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
we never studied Satan or any of that. I don't know nothing about all that.
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about all that. This is DJ Paul, an original member of 666 Mafia, right? Lord Infamous, Koopsta, original members of 666 Mafia. Listen to what he has to say.
I don't know what other guys will come tell you, hey, well, now we want, man, look, you don't play with the 666 name, right? You know what it is. You do have a conscience. The average person go and say 666, I'm 666. You just straight up, somebody gonna come and say, you going to hell. And if you really with the Christian religion, you gonna think you're going straight to hell. You get what I'm saying? So we knew what the fuck it was. I knew what the fuck it was, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed making motherfuckers go crazy and get violent, catch charges and fight and shit. Get high, goddamn. You know what I'm saying? And all this, what they call crunk nowadays. Because back then, it was just North Memphis and South Memphis, and what 666 did was made those two parts of the city come together. South Memphis ought to go to rap, North Memphis and rap, North Memphis ought to go, because it was all full of, you know what I'm saying, rappers from all over. So we really just brought the city together. Yes, I was deeply, I don't know about nobody else, but I can tell you, we know we was doing 666. Hey, we exactly knew what it meant. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of didn't want to get into all that, no matter what I blame God for doing, I hated God for what he did. But as it came to the 666, I don't think I hate him that much. But I did it because it was money. And so, you could, I even had the satanic books, the little warlock materials. You know, every warlock got to have a dagger, cut the little punch stars, whatever, little candles. I had all that. I was into all that. So, because something about the other Bible didn't work out. So I can tell you this, we did, folks with 666, some folks were scared of it and left, put it like that. But me, I meant what I was saying. I definitely meant it. I said, so God, you're gonna play like that, huh? Well, I got you. I'm gonna make black folks comfortable with 666. Back then, black folks was like scared of it. You know, they wasn't too much on it. It's basically rock and roll. You know, they say 666, they go, ah. Then they start listening to it and go to church. So they said, asked a lot of y'all worship the devil. They say they're Christians, but they pumping 666, you know what I'm saying? So my job was out of anger to make black people get comfortable with their name. And I was very intelligent with it because I read a lot about it. You know, so I read a lot of books. I'm not a Christian. I'm not a Baptist. I'm not an atheist. I'm not a Muslim. I'm not a Catholic. I don't believe in a lot of this bullshit that they make up. It's all to maintain order. Now, I can't talk against religion because without religion, which is what they use to maintain order, if that happened, it'd be a lot of chaos. You get what I'm saying? But I read a lot and I put all that into the music and the energy. You get what I'm saying? Because how you get Satan's name going, you get the kids to like it. Now, today, see, I think we was one of the first people to break it like that. You would think 666 would have been a rock and roll band. So I think I was used by Satan, and I think he's I don't fear him. I don't even believe in that motherfucker no more. But just to get black people, you know, once you get the black people, which are the riders of
Just don't believe in nothing.
the Bible, they carry the Bible on their back like Jesus, Yahshua, whatever his name is, told the cross, you know what I'm saying, the crux or whatever. But anyway, we got people comfortable with his name, and we made sure we made songs violent. Very, very violent. We made songs very violent.
He says he was used by Satan to make black people comfortable with the devil. And that they would be listening to 666 Mafia, and then they would be in church the next day. I think it's funny because you have the clip of DJ Paul talking about, he's sitting here talking about, oh, it's not satanic, it's not demonic, like we never used to worship the devil, and you know, all this type of stuff. And then you have Koopsta flat out say, like, bro, you knew exactly what you was getting into. You have a conscience. You know exactly what we were doing. So for him to still deny it to this day, even though it's all so obvious, it didn't even take that clip for us to know that they were into some dark and demonic stuff. But just the fact to hear him say the level of detail and the intention that he put into the music that he was putting out to people and the reason why he did it, it is shocking to hear somebody go into that level of detail. It is shocking. Bone Thugs and Harmony. And I promise we're going to get to the interview that I had with Anthony Stanley. And
Boy, Bone Thugs. Man. No lie, when I used to watch they stuff, like some of that stuff scared me. It put fear in me for real as a kid.
you're not going to want to miss that because it was crazy. But Bone Thugs and Harmony, a lot of people, depending on who you talk to, a lot of people regard Bone Thugs and Harmony as the greatest rap group of all time. There's definitely a debate. There is definitely a debate. And once again, just like 666 Mafia, Bone Thugs and Harmony, they influenced a lot of the music that we see today. And I want you to listen to this clip from Busy Bone talking about their use of the Ouija board. And more specifically, I want you to listen to what he says the record label told them to do and the strategy that the record label put behind them in order to glorify the Ouija board and push it to their audience. Take a listen.
And it groomed us for later on. And then when the business came at us, it was just like, whew.
Right.
And money just hasn't stopped flowing since we got into the industry, you know, and being homeless guys, you know, at first it's just, it's overwhelming, you know, but you got to be grounded. You know, I thank God, you know, Jesus and my Lord and Savior and you know, my resilience, my perseverance, the end of my fears and all of those different things. Not worrying about when I die, got the afterlife there, and really, really putting it forth so I don't have to walk around the earth, you know, shaking everywhere I'm going.
Right.
This, I'm gonna be all right. So I accredited, you know, all of our sanity and our reasonable decisions to that, our spirituality and being grounded. And plus, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I want to cut you off because you talk about spirituality, and I know you're a very spiritual dude. But I remember even times, especially on a couple of those albums, they was like, man, Bone Thugs, they dark. It almost feels demonic and all that stuff. And you guys had to go through that world. And then now to see that, you know, you talking about, you know, your sanctity and all of those things. Was that just a phase, or was that just misconstrued and people didn't understand it?
I mean, we played the Ouija board and we wrote a song about it. So we wrote a song about pretty much everything that we did.
Right.
And we stopped playing the Ouija board because, like, we was sitting on a bunk bed and Lazy was asking who was going to die first in his family. And he was like, when he found out it was somebody that he didn't want, so he threw the Ouija board, and then they picked it back up, and then beds started falling down. So a whole bunch of stuff started happening.
So
Where
real
it's like, right, I ain't you know, most of
Right.
you know, we learned our lesson hands-on. And then when Eazy-E, he was like, y'all got to do that song, man. I like that Ouija song y'all did, man. And then he started talking backwards. And then after he passed, here comes the marketing and the promotional train, and here comes the company. You know
Right.
what we need to do? Let's make some money off of it. So they put that mysterious back in the days when, you know, CD covers and reading CD covers was the thing to do. So, you know, that it manifested from there, and it, you know, I think it was a whole lot of.
Did you feel like that may have affected some of the darkness in the darker times, or that was it all just marketing and gimmick, and it just happened to be a coincidence?
Yeah, I think it was marketing, and I think the only thing that took the gimmick stuff out of it was because we did play the Ouija board. So that kind of made it feel real enough to us to where we didn't, you know, scream and shout, you know, at the company like, what the f- you doing? You know what I'm saying? And we never been bubblegum no goddamn way. So.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, I just look at it as humanity in general really don't give a f- about the number 6 all like that. Don't give a fucking, we just don't give a f-
Right.
Am I only going to keep $665 in my pocket? In order to count a G, I'm going to have to pass that number.
You have to get past
You know, so-
that third 6.
Yeah, so I think.
This man said he takes Jesus as Lord and Savior, then he go on this cussing rampage. But hey, I'm not gonna judge. Hey, everybody in different seasons, so I don't know.
That mankind in general really, you know, just brush that under their feet and stomp past it like they always do. You know what I'm saying? Some don't.
Yeah.
You know, but it, you know,
But as we know, I think it's so interesting that he just said that in terms of number one, you know, they're playing with the Ouija board, asking who's going to die first in their family. They don't like the answer. They threw the Ouija board off the bed. Then the bed starts collapsing and coming apart and stuff like that. You know, the record label hears this story because they made a song about it, and they want to push it. They want to put fuel behind that song and push it out. And they wanted to profit off of that, regardless of what the spiritual impact was. They wanted to profit off of it. And he said something very interesting, that a lot of people just disregarded it. A lot of people just swept it under the rug because they don't think nothing of it. Most people are asleep. Most people don't have any discernment. Most people just think that the spiritual realm is non-existent and that there is no consequences. And I think it's very interesting that he's able to recognize that. And I also think it's very interesting that, you know, the record label themselves, they're very much aware of the spiritual realm because they use it. They use it to generate revenue. They use it to stay in business. They use it to keep people hooked, and they do not care if it's for better or for worse. They're about the bread. Sacrificial. G. Craig Lewis talked about sacrifices that are being made.
We're gonna stop right there, man. This is some deep stuff. I mean, this video ended up being like about 40 minutes. So I'm gonna let y'all watch the rest. As much as I want to play the old video, we're gonna stop right there because this is really deep. I probably watched the rest myself. But shout out to Nick Jones just putting this together. Like you can tell Nick Jones, you could tell that he took his time out to actually like do research and stuff. This just ain't like, oh, let me see what video that looked interesting and just made a video like I did. He actually did his research and stuff. So, and when he did and also when he did his research, this is like this video right here is 2 hours. The video that's right below that. That was 1 month ago. So yeah, that is something. That was 1 month ago. So man, shout out to Nick Jones just for being up to date with everything that's going on, really bringing in content and stuff. But yeah, this hip hop world, man, it's just really, it's bad. And I didn't know that type of stuff was going on back then. I just looked at like today's music industry and was like, man, today like it's so demonic. Like back then it wasn't, but no, it was always demonic. There was always, some things going on, depending on who made the music or made the song. So y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Also feel free to hit that subscription button if you like content like this. Also, just by subscribing, this will not only have you subscribe to my channel, but this will also send stuff out into the algorithm that will let YouTube know that you like content like this, and you'll be seeing more content like this from other creators as well. So this is not just to boost up my subscription, but to also just to put out even more Christian content that do pretty much the same thing that I'm doing or that Nick Jones doing. But with that being said, I hope everyone have a great day. I hope this video was very what's that word? I hope this video was very knowledgeable. Still not the word that I'm looking for, but yeah, I just hope this video really, that y'all learned something from it. Very educational. As a Christian, for my brothers and sister in Christ, and also entertaining as well. But yeah, hope everyone have a blessed day. I'm out.